Do it.
Hello, we are live right now. Well, I am Gonzo blogger, and this is my channel, Café Gonzo. And today we have, I have in my channel Aidin, that is a citizen from Britain, British Irish, no? And he's right now in Russia. What are you doing there, Aidin?
I came to Russia to fight for the people of the Donbass, so that either meant joining private military contractors in the Donbass or joining the Russian army. And I decided to join the Russian army and join the fight.
That is amazing. Well, I mean, you are from Britain, no?
Yes, I know how that looks because my government is very pro-Ukrainian, and so is a large proportion of the population. So I knew I was going against the grain, and I knew I'd make a lot of enemies, and I knew it wouldn't be received well. But, you know, when you feel a calling in your heart, you have to follow it. So that's basically what I did. I followed my heart, and I ended up in Russia. I've just come back from the Ukraine, actually. I was in the Donbass from January until about a week ago. I'm having my vacation, and then I'll go back to the Donbass.
Why did you go there? What are your motivations?
Well, I've always been aware of my own government and the things that they've done. My family ancestry originates from Ireland, and I've always been aware of what Britain did to Ireland over the centuries. But of course, from the 60s up until the 90s, you had the Troubles in the north of Ireland and what the British did to the Irish people. So I was always acutely aware of the kind of shenanigans and the kind of things that they got up to on the international stage. And then, of course, when this started happening in Ukraine, the coup, as I call it, the coup d'etat in 2014, I saw the systematic murder of ethnic Russian people from a fascist regime which was financed and armed by the West. And it took me a few years to decide categorically that I was going to come and fight. I just didn't want to become a part of it because my tax money was being spent on this. So by default, I become involved in it because my tax money is going to Ukraine to murder ethnic Russians in the Donbass and in Odessa and Kharkiv. And I decided that I had two choices: either shut up and sit down and ignore what was happening, or actually do something and fight. So I decided that I would come and fight. I was fed up with talking, on social media, trying to raise awareness. It wasn't getting anywhere. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to come and fight. So it's strictly ideological for me. I've always been pro-Russian anyway. I've always hated my own government. I identify as Irish anyway. And it broke my heart seeing all the videos and all the testimony of the people which were victims of these fascists and these Nazis in Ukraine. And I needed to do something about it. It's a calling for me. It's not a video game. It's not an adventure for me. I'm well aware of the risks. I'm well aware that there's a high chance, a high probability I could lose my life in doing this. But, that's what I decided to do. It's what I wanted to do. It's a calling from the heart, ideological. And that's why I ended up in Russia. And that's why I'm in the Russian army.
I am, let's say, member of the first wave of volunteers that came to Donetsk, to the Donbass, at the beginning of the conflict. Although I was not I didn't join the militias, but I was working there for 2 years, in Donetsk. And then my heart is there, because I have even friends that were fighting, like Alexis Castillo. I don't know if you heard about him, from Colombia or Spanish Colombian, and also Eddie Ongaro. He was Italian. No, I knew many people. I am a member of the first wave of volunteers. You remember these first guys that went there, no, to the Donetsk at the beginning of the conflict. No? And well, for me, I found you on social media, the contact, and I thought, look, I had to interview this man, this brave man, because you are a man that really you have all my admiration and all my solidarity. You know, there are many people here in Spain that they know what is happening perfectly in the Donbass. You know. So I think you are a brave and honest person, and you are doing something that I would like to do, but I cannot do it because I am not so enough brave like you. You understand me? But anyway, tell me something more about your what are you doing there now? You are a citizen of Russia. I understood.
Yeah, so we when I came to Russia, I tried to start the process of attaining a Russian passport citizenship straight away, because upon signing the contract that I signed it with the Russian military, that effectively made me a war criminal at home and a terrorist, because it's against the law for me to sign a contract or join the military of a nation that's waging war against a peaceful nation, Ukraine being the peaceful nation. And we know that's a load of rubbish. But so, of course, if I go back to Britain, I would be arrested from the plane. I wouldn't even make it on the tarmac before handcuffs were put on my wrists. So I knew it was a one-way journey. I still made the journey, but being a Russian citizen, it's released the pressure from my mind. Of course, I didn't think that Russia would allow me to join the military and then kick me out of the country afterwards. I knew they wouldn't do that. But of course, you know, you're in the war zone, you're in the Donbass, you're thinking all these things, you're not quite sure what's happening, and you just need some clarification. But now I've got that, and I feel safe, you know.
Yeah, of course, you are a citizen of Russia right now. And then even you married, no? You told me that you have married today. Or
yes,
or married.
Yes, I married at 10 o'clock Moscow time this morning.
Oh, look! Congratulations! No, congratulations from Barcelona. You know, it's amazing. No, you know, I have actually I have yeah. I have a girlfriend. No, actually I'm here in the Donbass. No, and she's now living in Russia in Ryazan. It's a city at 200 kilometers south of Moscow, and she went to Donetsk. She spent some days in Donetsk 2 weeks ago, to meet her mom and friends. And she's, sewing dresses for weddings, like, yes, yeah, really. And I will go to. Usually, I am going to in summer. In this summer, I will spend 2 months in Ryazan. I don't know if we have the chance to have a beer or share a beer together. Maybe I don't know, because I will spend 2 months in Russia, no. And then, well, my idea, I am a Spanish citizen, but I am following all this conflict, and well, in social media, I try to show my people the other side of the reality, I mean, the side. Tell me about your plans. What are your future? What are you thinking? What are you going to do in the future?
Well, I've briefly touched upon it within my mind, but I haven't really got an answer for you, because I don't know how long this war is gonna last, and it's not just a case of even if the Ukraine defenses collapse this year, and there's a settlement in Russia, have victory, you're still going to have all those troops for quite a long time in that area anyway, because I've signed a year contract. They can retain me if they need me, the military. So even if I serve my year, the Russian military can retain me, and there's not really a lot I can do about it. But I knew that signing the contract, so I think I'm in it for the long haul. So if this is to last a year, another year, 2 years, I think that's my immediate future. After the war, I really don't know. I've not thought that far ahead. I didn't think that far ahead, deliberately so, because I was focused on fighting for the people of the Donbass. So it was a case of Russian visa, plane ticket, Russia, sign contracts, Donbass. And to be fair, meeting a woman has thrown a curveball into it. I didn't expect that to happen, and it happened, and now I'm married. But of course, I got to take it a day at a time too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, you are married with a Russian woman, so this is the best thing you can do. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, I am kidding, no, but it's true. You have your wife right now in Russia, no? She's Russian, so you can build your life, starting a new life there, actually, after war, when you finish, and I think you will do really well there. There are many opportunities in Russia. I know that. I am trying to do the same way, but without being in the army. You understand me? And maybe even myself, I will marry soon next year. I will invite you to the wedding. I will, really. I am telling you, this is true. This is true. What I am telling you is my project. My project. Even I am right now looking for a house in the countryside. In the area of Riazan, beautiful area, with a lot of land and so on. I want to buy a big dacha there, a house, in the countryside, and then, well, really, if I marry with Margarita, is my girlfriend. If I marry her, then I will have this residence permit. My idea is living between Spain and Russia. This is my project. And trying to help maybe in some kind of projects like charities, this kind of thing, because I did in the Donbass, and I will do again. I am doing that actually. Margarita and me, we are involved in charities with local charities in Donetsk, and that's it. Tell me more about your how to say, ideology or something, because I understood, I saw this sheet of the mirror, what's it called, the daily mirror, They say you are a traitor and you are kind of fascist or something like this. Is true that, or what do you think?
I mean,
Tell me.
I'll answer the fascist question first. I mean, if I was a fascist or a far right member of the National Front, which was a far-right organization in the 70s and 80s, full of skinheads that went around beating people up based on their skin color. If that was me, they would have evidence that I was a member of those groups, which they don't have. I've asked Matt Roper, who wrote the article. I've asked him to provide evidence. He didn't answer me, and he won't. But if I was a member of those far-right organizations, I'd have a Ukrainian uniform on, not a Russian one. So that's that answered. Yeah, in terms of traitor, I mean, if it makes me a traitor, the fact that I come to Russia to fight for the people of the Donbass, who, without Russia's help, they couldn't have lasted or fought for themselves for much longer, because you had NATO, you had America, you had the West effectively supplying arms and munitions to Ukraine. I think it would have only been a matter of time. So Russia didn't have an option but to get involved. So I failed to see how I'm a traitor, because officially Russia and Britain are not at war. Unofficially, they are in some kind of way. But is a deliberate ploy, is a deliberate use of words, because what it does, it will evoke anger and hatred, especially among serving military members of the British Armed Forces who have fallen over themselves to get to Ukraine to kill effectively. That's why they're going there for. It's adventure, and it's not ideological for the British Armed Forces, and they're there in their droves. And maybe I think that's their issue, the fact that it's possible that I will end up fighting British soldiers, and I'll willingly do it because they're supporting fascists. I don't care what nationality you are. If you're supporting fascists and murdering innocent people, I will stop you, or I will try. But the lies involved in that, I was a drug addict, alcoholic. I mean, I'm pretty clear-headed to be an alcoholic and drug addict, but this is what they do.
This is typical. It's a defamation of people. Character assassination is called. Character assassination, and they create a bad background just simply for defame you. This is character assassination. That's it. And then it happened to me as well. It happened to me the same, and then this is part of our struggle as well. No? Let's say, I mean, when you took this decision, it's clear that you will have this problem. No, right now I think you are in a good moment because you have this Russian passport. You are a member of the army and you are unread, so you can build a new life there in Russia. And that's it. Maybe I ask you if you have time or something. I don't know, even blogging in English, for creating a blog about yourself, and that's it, because people are reading that. People are interested. They want to know something different than the Steven Sackor. You know what I mean? Steven Sackor, Heart Toll of Steven Sackor. Well, people, this is kind of mainstream. How to say, propaganda, no? But there are many people that are interested in this, to know people like you. I mean, because you are there, you know what is happening there. I think you should try to create something, or maybe a blog, or even your own channel on YouTube or whatever, no? Because we are fighting against propaganda and NATO disinformation.
Well, I mean, Joseph Goebbels would be proud, wouldn't he, seeing his legacy perpetuated and continued by these psychopaths in the West. I mean, they've took it to new levels. Honestly, if they tell me the sky is blue, I'm going to go outside and check.
Yeah, me too. You're right. You are totally right. I it's incredible. It's like 1984 of George Orwell. Even worse. I think it's even worse.
Yeah, it's very alarming. It's very concerning. I mean, one thing I noticed is if you repeat this lie, or repeat these lies often enough and loud enough, people become accustomed to it. They're so busy in their own lives trying to survive effectively that they haven't got the time to argue against it, or they haven't got the stomach to fight against it. Is very alarming. But I'm not one of these people that is gonna sit there and take it, or be a part of the conspiracy. And that's what really drove me to come to Russia and do something about it. I've got nothing but hatred for what my country has become, and it is only going to get worse. That's the scary prospect of it, and it seems to me as though there's no off ramp in Ukraine, and it's just going to escalate with the West keep perpetuating the issue and making it worse. So we've got some scary times ahead, I think, but You know, it's what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and do nothing? Are you just going to ignore it, or are you going to try and do something about it? And one thing that the newspapers won't tell you is that I've had many people contact me, British citizens, wanting to join the Russian army. Of course, I don't want to get involved in that type of thing, because if I start trying to recruit people actively, you come to the attention of the intelligence services then, and bad things can happen, you know. But I've had lots of messages from British citizens wanting to join the Russian army. They won't tell you that.
Yeah, I know. You know, I know Ben Stimson, that he came back, no, again, and he was one of the first British in fighting against the Nazis. I mean, because he participated at the beginning in the, you know, in the first. Yes. No, wonderful. Irene, I want to tell you one thing. Thank you for being there, no? And I think, you know, the connection is more or less is working, but it's not very stable. I think it's perfect. What we did today is a short interview. You explained many things, no? I invite you to participate in maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks, no, to other show, no, with better connection. I will look for even better connection. This is wonderful. It has been quite long interview, and you explained many things. Do you want to say something right now? And we will finish. We will end the interview after your last words. Let's say, you know, what do you want to say? Something? Come on.
Yeah, I'll say a few things.
Wonderful.
Okay. So basically, it'll be a little bit of a struggle for me having an online presence within the next few months, because I'm joining a storm battalion in the Donbass, so that is as frontline fighting as you can get. It's the tip of the spear. So my online presence it will be affected by this, because, you know, there's hardly any internet or even phone signal at the front. But whenever that I'm not on active duty or going out there to, you know, do your thing, obviously I'll do as much as I can, and I'm willing to come on the show again. I think the issue is going to be the timing of it, because for the next 6 months I'll be in the Donbass and I'll be at the front fighting. So there may be a few weeks here and there whilst we're resting that I may get internet, depending on what camp I'm at. But I will do what I can. And finally, one thing I will say, I want to address the British soldiers, the Western soldiers that armed themselves and that are fighting for Ukraine. I want to tell them that they're on the wrong side of history. They themselves know there's a fascist and far right and Nazi problem in Ukraine, because they've seen it. There's videos of soldiers admitting it once they've come back from Ukraine. They need to put their arms down, because they've got no problem with Russia. And if they don't put their arms down, then two things are going to happen. They'll either get captured or they get killed. And you're wasting your life for what? Go back home to your families. It's not ideological for you. You're not saving anybody, you know? What you're doing is causing mass murder, and you're causing major humanitarian issues in the east of what was once Ukraine, which is now Russia, the Donbass. And you've been helping do that since 2014. So I want you to look within yourselves and, you know, try and get to grips with your own consciousness and go back home. Your enemy is the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, in Downing Street. That is who your enemy is. And if you should be pointing guns at anybody, is that scumbag.
amazing. I think, I wish you good luck. Good luck. Be strong and brave. Because I know you are. I hope to see you again in a show, in my show, let's say, but also maybe in the future, even in Russia. And how, I will tell you something. I want to say you goodbye in a Spanish way. No pasarán. Okay?
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's it. I will send you the interview, okay? The link. I have now to do some stuff. I will send you the link. This interview has been really, in my opinion, quite good. Quite good. Thank you, Aidin, member of the Russian Army Engineers. I am Gonzo blogger, and this is my talk show, Gonzo Café. Thank you, Aidin, again, and the people that are, let's say, watching the video. No, thank you, thank you, thank you. See you soon, Aidin. Fine, you are really amazing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.